Have you ever wondered why two people can earn exactly the same salary, live in the same city, work the same hours, and 10 years later, one is financially free while the other is drowning in debt? It isn't because one won the lottery. It isn't because one was born rich. And surprisingly, it isn't even because one earned dramatically more money. The real difference often comes down to one incredibly simple rule that millions of people have heard about, but very few actually follow. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a budgeting method so simple, it sounds almost too good to be true, and it's helped thousands of ordinary people stop living paycheck to paycheck. But first, you need to understand why almost every budget fails. Meet Sarah. She's 29, lives in Dallas, earns around $70,000 a year, has health insurance, and rarely misses a bill. From the outside, her life looks completely under control. But every month tells a different story. A few days after payday, her account looks healthy. She promises herself this month will be different. This month she'll finally save. Then, life happens. Rent, electricity, car insurance, coffee before work, takeout after a long day, groceries, 3 streaming subscriptions she barely watches, a gym membership she hasn't used in weeks. Then, her car needs new tires and the money she planned to save disappears. Again, at the end of the month, she opens her banking app and asks the question she's asked for years. Where did all my money go? If you've ever asked yourself that, you're not alone. Millions of people make decent incomes but still feel like they're chasing their next paycheck. Here's what's interesting: most people believe they have an income problem. In reality, they have a system problem. Imagine building a house without a blueprint. You could buy the best materials, hire skilled workers, spend thousands of dollars, and without a plan, it's still a mess. Money works the same way. Most people work hard to earn it. Very few have a system for telling it where to go. So every dollar makes its own decision, and dollars are terrible decision makers. That's why so many people think budgeting doesn't work. They've tried the apps, the spreadsheets, the complicated Sunday night plans abandoned by Wednesday. Not because they're lazy, because the system was too complicated to survive real life. Now meet Jake. He also earns around $70,000 a year. He's not a financial expert. He doesn't own 10 rental properties. He simply follows one rule every single month. 5 years later, Jake has an emergency fund. He sleeps better. His credit card balance is almost zero. He's investing for retirement. He doesn't panic when life throws him an unexpected bill. So what changed? Not his income. Not his luck. The biggest change was that he finally gave every dollar a purpose before spending it. Most people think budgeting means restriction, no vacations, no restaurants, no fun. That's why the word feels like punishment. But a good budget isn't about limiting your life. It's about giving yourself permission to enjoy what actually matters, while protecting your future at the same time. That's exactly why the 50-30-20 rule became so popular. You don't track every dollar. No color-coded spreadsheets. No accounting degree. Just 3 numbers. Imagine your paycheck as a pizza. Instead of cutting it into 20 tiny slices, you divide it into 3 sections: your needs, your wants, and your future. Simple. Easy to remember. Easy to follow. Don't let the simplicity fool you like GPS. The interface is simple, but the system behind it is powerful. It removes decision fatigue. Instead of asking dozens of financial questions every week, your money already has a destination. Here's something important first. Many people don't fail financially because they spend too much. They fail because they never define enough. Without clear limits, spending naturally expands like pouring water into a bucket with no measuring line. Psychologists call this lifestyle inflation. Someone gets a raise, and instead of building wealth, they upgrade their apartment, their phone, their car. 6 months later, they're earning more than ever and saving exactly the same, or less. People rarely celebrate keeping the reliable old car after a raise. They celebrate buying the new one. Social media rewards appearances, not discipline. That's why so many people feel rich on Instagram and broke in real life. The 50-30-20 rule protects against that because it forces your savings to grow as your income grows. Now the first number, 50. This is reserved for your needs, not your wishes. Your needs. Rent or mortgage, utilities, basic groceries, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments, healthcare. Nobody posts a picture of paying their electric bill, but these expenses let everything else in your life exist. For many people today, housing alone can consume far more than 50% of income. If that's you, it doesn't mean you've failed, it means your budget needs attention somewhere else. A roommate, refinancing, more income, or delaying upgrades. You can ignore the math for months, even years, but eventually the math always wins. And that's when Sarah started asking a new question before every purchase. Is this helping the life I want tomorrow, or just making today a little more exciting? That one question changed everything. The next number, 30. This is where budgeting gets enjoyable. 30% of your after-tax income is for your wants, not needs. Wants? There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. The problem starts when we confuse the two. A reliable car is a need. A luxury SUV with a payment that makes you anxious is usually a want. Groceries are a need. 5 nights of expensive takeout is a want. Try this. Before buying something, pause for 10 seconds and ask, if nobody else ever saw me own this, would I still buy it? Many purchases aren't about the product, they're about perception. People spend money trying to look successful instead of becoming successful. Picture 2 neighbors. One drives a brand new luxury car with big payments. The other drives a reliable 5-year-old sedan. Most people assume the first is wealthier. But what if the second has a 6-figure portfolio, a full emergency fund, and no debt while the luxury car owner is living paycheck to paycheck just to keep up appearances? Real wealth is usually invisible. It's the money sitting quietly in investments, the emergency fund nobody sees, the peace of knowing one bad month won't wreck you. The final number, 20. This is the money that pays your future self first and where most people make their biggest mistake. They plan to save whatever's left at the end of the month. There's usually nothing left. Financially successful people reverse the order. Save first. Spend what's left. Think about planting a tree. You don't plant it for tomorrow's shade. You plant it because years from now you'll be grateful you started today. Compound growth works the same way. Emily starts investing $300 a month at 25. Michael waits until 35 because he wants to enjoy life first. They invest the same amount once they start, but because Emily began 10 years earlier, she can end up with hundreds of thousands more by retirement. Not because she earned more, simply because she gave time a chance to work. And unlike money, once time is gone, you can't earn it back. That 20% isn't just about retirement, it's about freedom. Freedom to leave a job you hate, handle emergencies, take opportunities without fear, sleep peacefully at night. That's what saving really buys, not just money choices. Now, maybe your numbers don't fit perfectly. Maybe rent is too expensive, or you have student loans, or you're supporting family. The 50-30-20 rule isn't a law, it's a guideline. Some people need 60% for essentials, others only 40%. What matters isn't hitting the numbers perfectly. What matters is giving every dollar a purpose. A plan followed consistently will always outperform a perfect plan abandoned after 1 week. Remember Sarah? She tried the rule for 90 days, no miracles expected, just wanting to see where her money actually went. The first month wasn't perfect. She found nearly $200 a month going to subscriptions she barely used and canceled most of them. She cut back on delivery. She packed lunch 3 days a week instead of buying it every day. Nobody noticed these changes. Her bank account did. By the end of 3 months, she had her first emergency fund, and for the first time in years, an unexpected expense didn't send her reaching for a credit card. That feeling was worth more than any impulse purchase she'd ever made. Because financial peace doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives one smart decision at a time, one saved dollar, one avoided impulse buy, one investment, 1 month of consistency, until those small decisions become a completely different life. Budgeting isn't really about money. It's about behavior. You can earn $200,000 a year and still struggle if your habits are out of control, or earn a modest income and steadily build wealth through discipline. Income matters. Habits matter more. So the next time your paycheck arrives, don't ask how much you can spend. Ask how much freedom you want to build. Because every dollar is a choice between today and tomorrow, between appearances and security, between temporary pleasure and lasting peace of mind. The 50-30-20 rule isn't magic. It won't make you rich overnight, but followed consistently, month after month, year after year, it can give you something far more valuable: control. And once you control your money stops controlling you. That's the moment your financial future truly begins.